How many times have you found yourself desperately reaching out to someone, whether it be a potential partner, a colleague, or a friend, only to feel that the more effort you invest, the further they seem to drift away? It is a peculiar and painful irony of the human condition that the moment we begin to chase, the very thing we desire seems to retreat. You know the hollow feeling that settles in your chest, the anxiety of wondering why they haven't replied, the frustration of feeling ignored. You tell yourself that if you could just say the right thing, or be just a little more accommodating, or prove your worth just one more time, they would finally see you and return the affection. But let me tell you, this cycle is not a sign that you are doing something wrong. It is a sign that you are operating from a position of profound scarcity. You are unconsciously telling the world that you are incomplete without the approval of others, and that lack of self-sufficiency acts like a repellent. Most people believe that to attract others, one must perform, display, and constantly demonstrate value. But what if I told you that the secret to becoming a person of irresistible magnetic presence is not found in what you say or what you show, but in the exact opposite? What if there were 6 words, a simple, ancient philosophical code that could instantly pivot your entire psychological posture from a state of pleading to a state of commanding power? This is not a social trick. This is a 2,000-year-old philosophical secret, forged in the fires of Roman antiquity and utilized by history's most influential men to command the respect and admiration of everyone they encountered. By the end of this journey, you will understand how to stop chasing and start attracting by mastering the core principles of Stoic sovereignty. The first step in this transformation is to truly internalize the dichotomy of control, the foundational pillar of Stoic philosophy. Most of our misery and our desperate need to chase others stems from a fundamental misunderstanding of what is within our power. We behave as if we can force someone to like us, force someone to respect us, or force someone to see our value. We invest our precious energy into outcomes that are entirely determined by the minds of others, minds that we cannot touch. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, understood that the only sphere in which we exercise absolute authority is our own reasoning faculty, our own choices, and our own internal states. When you chase someone, you are implicitly claiming that your state of mind is dependent on their actions. You are effectively handing them the keys to your emotional kingdom. The 6 words that hold the key to your liberation are these: I need nothing. I choose you. Let that sink in. Notice the distinction. When you need someone, you are a beggar. When you choose someone, you are a sovereign. The difference is not just semantic. It is a fundamental shift in your frequency, your energy, and the way you hold yourself in the presence of others. When you operate from a place of I need, you carry the scent of desperation, and nothing is more unattractive to the human psyche. We are evolutionarily programmed to value what is scarce and to be suspicious of what is overly available. By needing others, you make yourself overly available. You signal that your worth is tied to them. However, when you hold the internal mantra of I need nothing, you are performing a radical act of self-discipline. You are declaring to the universe, you are declaring to every person you encounter, that your peace, your purpose, and your identity are entirely self-contained. This is the ultimate form of strategic silence. By disappearing from the public eye, not literally but metaphorically, by withdrawing your desperate need for validation, you create a vacuum. And nature, as we know, abhors a vacuum. When you stop projecting your needs onto others, you become an enigma. People are naturally drawn to the person who does not seem to need them, because that person represents a level of self-mastery that is exceedingly rare. You are no longer reacting to external provocations, slights, or silence. You are centered in your own character, and that centering makes you a lighthouse in a sea of emotional chaos. This leads us to the power of immunity to criticism and praise. The person who is constantly chasing others is also constantly seeking their praise. They are addicted to the good job, the I like you, or the you're so great. But Stoicism teaches us that the person who seeks praise is a slave to the person who gives it. If you crave their approval, you must also fear their disapproval. You have set yourself up for a lifetime of instability. The truly powerful person has learned to hold their own character as the sole judge of their value. They do not hold their head higher because the world applauds, and they do not bow it because the world condemns. When you reach this state of total indifference to the opinions of others, you become fundamentally unshakable. People sense this. They sense that they cannot hurt you, and they sense that they cannot buy you. And in the complex dance of human interaction, that is the single most attractive quality a human being can possess. It is the quality of someone who is anchored, someone who is grounded, someone who cannot be moved by the winds of other people's shifting moods. Understand that your struggle with this, your urge to chase, is an obstacle that has been placed in your path for a reason. It is the raw material for your growth. Amar Fati, the love of your fate, demands that you embrace these moments of rejection, these moments of being ignored, not as a tragedy, but as a lesson. Every time you feel the sting of someone not wanting you or not valuing you, you are being given a golden opportunity to practice the detachment that will set you free. Stop viewing these moments as failures, view them as the training ground. If you were never tested by rejection, you would never develop the self-sufficiency that defines a truly Stoic life. You are being asked to refine your character, to sharpen your focus on your long-term goals, and to forge an unshakable inner peace that is independent of external events. This is not about becoming cold or unfeeling. It is about becoming uncorrupted. You are learning to care, but to care without attachment. As we move deeper into this exploration, we must confront the reality of strategic scarcity. You have perhaps spent your entire life being too present, too vocal, and too available. You have allowed your plans, your emotions, and your presence to be an open book. But the Stoics knew the value of the closed door. They understood that the more you share of yourself before you have earned the right to be understood, the less value you have in the eyes of others. This is not about playing games. It is about respecting the sanctity of your own mind. When you keep your plans secret, when you keep your emotions private, and when you refuse to engage in the trivial dramas of those who do not share your vision, you are building an aura of mystery. People are fascinated by what they cannot fully grasp. They are drawn to the person who holds back, because that holding back implies that there is a vast, hidden depth to discover. You become a project that they want to explore, rather than an open door they can walk through whenever they choose. This is the realization of true power. When you stop looking to others to define your value, you stop being a beggar and become a beacon. The people who once felt the need to distance themselves from your desperation now find themselves drawn to your gravity. They are intrigued by your composure, unsettled by your independence, and captivated by your refusal to participate in the common game of validation seeking. This is not a tactic meant to deceive. It is an authentic shift in your identity. You are no longer living for the fleeting approval of the masses. You are living for the quiet, unshakable satisfaction of your own integrity. Consider the discipline required to maintain this state. When someone you care for ignores you, the urge to reach out is a reflex of your old, unrefined nature. It is the ego demanding to be acknowledged. A Stoic recognizes this urge, observes it, and lets it pass without acting upon it. You do not punish them with silence. You simply fill your silence with the pursuit of your own excellence. You return to your work, your studies, and your purpose. You pour your energy into your own growth. When you are genuinely busy building a life that you love, you don't have time to notice who is or isn't paying attention to you. And that is exactly when they start to notice. It is a paradox of human interaction. You gain the power to attract others precisely when you relinquish the need to have them. This brings us to the importance of transforming your obstacles into fuel. The frustration you feel when someone is unresponsive, or the sting of their indifference, is the perfect catalyst for your transformation. Instead of letting these emotions turn into bitterness or self-doubt, Use them as markers of your progress. Whenever you feel the impulse to chase, stop, take a breath, and repeat those 6 words: I need nothing, I choose you. Remind yourself that your worth is not something that can be granted by another person, nor can it be taken away by their neglect. You are the sole architect of your self-regard. By choosing to stand firm, you are proving to yourself that you are in control of your emotions, which is the ultimate form of self-mastery. As you continue on this path, you will notice that your relationships change entirely. You will no longer find yourself in the company of people who drain you, because they will no longer find a foothold in your psyche. You will find that those who are attracted to you are those who respect your independence, who share your values, and who are capable of engaging with you as an equal. You are raising your standards by first raising the standard of your own inner life. You are moving from a state of seeking external validation to a state of internal validation, and that is a transition that radiates outward in every interaction you have. Remember, the goal of Stoicism is not to become unfeeling, but to become unbreakable. You are allowed to feel deep affection, you are allowed to desire connection, and you are allowed to choose people you admire, but you are no longer allowed to let those feelings compromise your sovereignty. You are the master of your own mind. You are the guardian of your own peace. When you walk through the world with the quiet confidence of someone who needs nothing, you are not just attracting people, you are attracting the right kind of attention. You are signaling that you are someone who knows their worth, and that is the most powerful magnet in existence. As we conclude this exploration, ask yourself if you are ready to let go of the need for validation. Are you ready to embrace the life of a sovereign individual? The power to change your reality is entirely within your grasp, residing in the simplicity of your own choices. If these principles have resonated with you and you are committed to the path of inner mastery, ensure you are subscribed to this channel. Share your reflections in the comments. How have you applied the principle of needing nothing in your own life to shift the dynamics of your relationships? Your insights are the lifeblood of this community, and your growth is the reason we explore these ancient truths. Stay disciplined, stay grounded, and continue your journey toward a life of absolute and unshakable tranquility.